number 42. It's the head of a Roman patrician, and the form we'll start with, it's a portrait of a Roman man. We actually don't know what man this is a portrait of, interestingly, because it seems so precise. But it's carved in the round. You can see because we can view it from the front and we can view it from the side, yet it is, like many sculptures, intended to be viewed from this one front side. It has lines. I mean, whoa, use of lines. They are deep lines that are representative of wrinkles and imperfections in this man's head and neck. The context for this piece is, did I skip one? No, the context is the design of the Roman government. The Senate is one of those structures of the Roman government that existed throughout both the Roman Republic and the Roman Empire or Imperial Rome. So you'll see up here in our identifiers that this art piece came from Republican Rome. Well, what's Republican Rome? Republican Rome was this time period, 509 BCE to 27 BCE. This was the time when Rome was like the United States, where we had and they had, a Senate. They didn't necessarily have a House of Representatives, but they had other bodies like that where people were elected. People like this Roman patrician were elected, and they served for life, and they made kind of all the decisions, or many of the decisions, for the Roman Republic. Well, 27 BCE, Rome flips a switch and they decide, hey, we're an empire now and we want to be ruled by a Caesar, by one person who's got a ton of power. And they were that way for nearly 500 years. Oh, actually 500 years. And so at that point, when they became the Roman Empire or Imperial Rome, they didn't get rid of the Senate. The Senate stayed, but it wasn't like the Senate was making some massive choices. The Roman emperor would have wanted to make it look like the Senate was making some decisions, but they didn't necessarily have a lot of power. Okay, and this was one of the last Roman Senate buildings. It was filled with as many as 900 members, anywhere from 3 to 900. The average is about 500 over the millennia of the existence of a Roman Senate. Okay, so initially you had to be a patrician in order to be in the Senate, and this changed over time. A patrician is somebody who is like an aristocrat, and the plebeians, which would be kind of like the common folk, they ultimately over time became members of the Senate. But if you were a patrician, you had a lot more power in the country. You were just, in terms of social hierarchy, you were higher than a plebeian. And context for this piece is the way that you would show the world that you were a patrician is by creating initially a wax mask. And a wax mask would be placed by your front, the front entrance to your home. And over time, these masks became marble. And you can see this is a sample of a man who's got a portrait, a mask of his lineage, right? Probably his grandfather and father here. And what he's really kind of advertising is, I come from some seriously good roots, and so I am worthy of your vote and your respect in the Roman society. So what's interesting about these masks is that they were, or heads portraits, is that they didn't always just give an exact likeness of somebody. I mean, you knew who it was, but there's this Latin word of veris, which means truth. And these portraits of these men were filled with verism, excuse me, and that means like hyper realistic portrayal. So they're exaggerating little lines. I mean, I got lines on my face, but if you made a carving of me and you put the lines super deep, well, that's really exaggerating the truth. And so these natural features of lines are being exaggerated so that we can demonstrate that we have this wisdom and honor, and we've been around a while, and so we kind of know the ropes, and we're going to make great choices for the people of Rome. And what it ultimate functions as is a way to legitimize your right to be in a power situation in Rome, in a power seat in Rome. And so you want to communicate to the people that you're going to be a great leader, and you want to associate yourself with wise leaders from the past who have been older, who have just struggled through making great decisions, and they've just always done the right thing, as shown by those wrinkles. So it legitimizes authority. That's the head of a Roman patrician.